Hiya, I'm Jenny from Threads of Stillness, and a few people had asked for a quick tour of the studio, so this is a quick tour of my studio. If you're after ideas for a beautifully organised, minimalist, immaculate studio, this isn't the place to come, but it should give you a bit of a tour around where I work. So I'm pre-recording this because then I can edit out the bits where I fall over or trip over stuff or find that a corner's too dark so all you're looking at is black. So let's get going. My studio is a garden shed, quite a nice garden shed. It was here when we got here, when we moved in, but yes, shed at the end of the garden. I'll do a proper tour of all the dyeing stuff at some point, but I do all my dyeing stuff outside because it's better to have decent ventilation. Eleanor's playhouse in the background. As usual, a collection of all sorts of bits of plant I've harvested waiting to be used, along with a bubble wand, also from Eleanor. I've got quite a few dye plants around in the garden at the minute, but just at the minute the woad, which you can see, which is the one with the yellow flowers here, is looking beautiful. It's in its second year. This is biennial, and you get blue from that. It's what was used before indigo was imported. We've got sheep in the background in the field behind, which is really nice, and we've got a whole load of bird boxes on the outside. This is the workbench, as it were. This very spiky looking thing in the foreground is the carder, so you can put wool through that. Lots and lots of jars. Some of them are dye liquid that I've made at some point in the past and still waiting to be used. There's quite a lot of things just sat soaking in water, because twigs and leaves in particular work much better if they've soaked for a while beforehand. Various sketchbooks, and this is Wild Colour, which is the natural dyes book that I keep out in the studio all the time. Lots of wool out on the side, on the desk on the side then this was for the Lindisfarne piece. You might have seen it on Facebook or somewhere else earlier in the week. That's for a much bigger piece that I've been doing, looking across the sands towards Lindisfarne. I'm trying to get organised and keep records for all the dyeing that I'm doing, of what I've got where. You'd think for somebody who used to work in archives I'd be good at labelling and organising everything, but yes, I'm trying to get organised because it's far too easy to think, oh, I'll remember what that is next week. That it's in, and then you get further down the line and get this pot and you're thinking, what was in this? Pegged up on the walls, I've got lots and lots of bags of dried plants and flowers and so on that will hopefully get used for dyeing at some stage. Lots and lots of threads in various. These ones are they're actually from my grandmother, who used to do lots of lace making. So all these pots here with sort of beautiful writing on, those all came from my grandmother. I keep most of my threads. I've got a wooden box here which has things like sort of more specialist ones, all the silk threads are in there, and so on. And then I've got the plastic organisers, which have so that one has all my crewel wool threads in, and I've got other ones for cotton and so on. The one that has my tapestry wool threads in has disappeared inside. Eleanor took a fancy to it, decided she wants to have a go at some sewing, and she likes playing with threads, which is lovely, but she particularly likes winding them round everything, sort of chair legs and so on, and creating these horrendous spiders' webs. So I always have to be a little bit careful if she's got it out when I stand up, that I haven't got a sort of spider's web on the floor to trip over. At the minute I keep my wool in these sort of mesh. I think it's time for clothing. It's not ideal. Ideally one day I'd like to have a sort of pigeonhole type system so that I can see it all properly, but this does for the moment. I've got all the different, it's merino wool by and large, and it's all organised by colour. So yeah, that's where I keep all the coloured wool. It's a complete mismatch of furniture. These a couple of cupboards that I think came from my grandparents, full of all sorts of things. This one, amongst other things, has a whole drawer of all sorts of lovely bits of some more specialist fibres. So there's quite a lot of silk there. Mint fibre. I didn't know you could get fibre from mint, but apparently you can. And flax. So lots of different that can be incorporated into pieces. Lots and lots and lots of bags of wool in paper sacks, so it's not a good idea to keep wool in plastic because it tends to just sweat. What's quite nice is we've got the bird boxes on the outside. 2 of them are rigged up to cameras. They've got cameras inside them, and this one, which is all in the middle on the outside, we've got swallows in, not swallows, sparrows in this year. I think we had blue tits in last year, which was really nice because we could see into the nest and we could see the eggs, and then when the eggs hatched, and then eventually I think 7 chicks fledged last year. This time with the sparrows they've built it all the way up over the top, so you can't actually see into the nest. But one thing which I realised I hadn't talked about was I've got quite a lot of wool from native breeds, British native breeds, which tend to live in these drawers. So you get lots and lots of different, lots of greys and browns and sort of it's very pale, almost whites in some cases. So Jacob, I think that's Swaledale, Hebridean, the very dark one. There's, what's that? Manx from the Isle of Man, Leicester Longwool. So lots and lots of different shades there, which is lovely. Thanks very much for watching. I hope it was interesting. I'm working on a time-lapse of the Lindisfarne piece that I did earlier in the week, so I just need to work out all the technical things to get that put together. So hopefully that'll be up next week to have a look at, and I'll try and keep putting videos up each week of some sort. So let me know if you've got any ideas. If you like the page on Facebook, then you'll get to see any videos and any other things that are going on. So I hope everybody's well. Take care, and I hopefully see you again soon. Bye bye.